Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. John Lawrence here, leader of the National Housing Party, getting into local elections because I want to change our government because I think it stinks. They're ripping you off, all that money they're taking off you, your price of your fuel, your ULEZ in London, your CAS tax in Manchester. We want it all stopped. They're screwing over the working class and everyone here who works and pays money into the government. We want it stopped. But today, I want to talk about 7 deadly sins. To me, the 7 deadly sins. And them words are racist, misogynist, Islamophobia, transphobic, anti-Semitic, sexist and homophobic. Them are the 7 deadly sins to me. Why? Because they shut down debate over things. They silence you if you've got an issue with somebody. And these words are only used in the Western world. They're not used in Africa. You go and ask the African leader, he has to ask his personal assistant what LGBT means and what homophobia and transphobia means. But only in the Western world are these words used. And they're used really well in England. Just keeps all our communities divided.
Don't care in how you
carry on, John, carry on.
Communities divided.
Push me around like that.
In Oldham is a typical area of where this happens. And there's been many articles, and there was an investigation into the Oldham Bradford riots in 2001, which identified that the council never dealt with racial tensions, segregation and housing, which ended up with the riots. And they're the worst riots in 15 years. Now, when the report came out, they blamed it on the things the council didn't do. My dad was Jamaican, he was a community leader. In the early 90s, my dad and other members of the community approached the council and told them about these issues. Nothing was done. Then 7 years later, we had the Oldham Bradford riots. And when you look at the report states that the stuff my dad and other members said was what caused the riots. But the council and our politicians are afraid to go after these because of politically correct terms to shut you up. You might have a debate about something. You don't have to be angry with someone. You don't have to disagree, but you can just have a debate. And they're shut down. We can debate here in Speaker's Corner fairly freely, but you can't debate anywhere else. You can't debate in Houses of Parliament. You can't debate in your council chambers or anything like that because they just shut you down. They just shut you down. And of course, these things as well, transphobia and homophobia, are able to put people in positions who aren't capable of doing these positions. So we might have an LGBT person in the council. They put him there just on merits because he ticks all the boxes, not because that man can do the job. Not because he can do the job. And that's happening all the time, all around the UK, in every community. And all it does is divide communities. It builds animosity up between white, black, or brown and white, or black and brown, and that's all it does. And the government are really well at taking this and doing it. I mean, political correctness has led to the rape of thousands, tens of thousands of girls. Political correctness has ended up with people being killed and no one says nothing. Political correctness, if you say something wrong about something, then people are threatening you with your life. And that happened in Batley, where a teacher thought he was doing his job, showed a picture of Mohammed. Wasn't right with the community. They came to that school, they threatened the teacher, they threatened to kill him, and nothing was done. Nobody was charged with anything. That teacher now doesn't live in Batley, lives somewhere else with a secret identity, and he was only a teacher. And when you look into the case, he was only doing what he'd done for the previous 10 years. So why did people have an issue with it now? You know what I mean? And these things are happening all over our country, and it just keeps our communities divided. Kills people, gets girls raped, women beaten, women, honour violence, never talked about in our councils or anything. But if anyone knows about the Banaz murder in Birmingham, a girl was chopped up, found dead. She told the police 2 weeks before that her family are planning to kill her. They didn't do nothing. and then she ended up being chopped up, found in some, buried in some yard.
I mean, they didn't do anything.
They didn't do anything.
That's better. Not
Right, all right. They didn't do anything. So, what happened with that? After the police investigation, 5 people were sent down for murder, but the police said there was 50 people involved. So why aren't them other 50 people been sent down or charged? It just doesn't work, and that is political correctness. That is the religion of political correctness. That's what it is. It's an evil thing. It's so evil, and people just don't realise how it divides our communities. And I talk about this all the time.
Don't do that. I've every right to stand here. Don't shove me around. I will not be shoved around.
So,
Whoever did, your party.
Gentle.
Yeah, he's making a speech, yes. Just give it 5 minutes.
When
He's finished, you can speak. Right?
our Oldham, my town of Oldham, has had some of the worst segregation and lack of integration in the country, but these things have always been brought to the council and told to the council, but the council's politically correct. They don't want to upset a certain community and they just leave it, which ended up us having the riots. And my town, the area where I lived and born, was burnt to the ground, and there was nothing really done. But the council just like to blame the far right. That's what they did, they blamed the far right. But it was the council's inability to deal with the issues that led people here like that. So nothing to do with them initially, but the council. And this is across the board. This is councils across the United Kingdom, and this is what they're like.
Can I ask a quick question?
No, not yet.
Well, actually, I've been forced to intervene. If
And I'll talk about integration, and I watched a video last week where a Pakistani lad was saying about integration, but I agreed with him because we might tell a certain people to integrate, but some people are that nobody says nothing about, and them are Jews, right? And just let me tell you, in Hackney, Diane Abbott's land, Hackney, 1,500 kids don't get schooled properly, Jewish kids. Health and safety in the school place, there's no health and safety. They're taught in basements and things like that. And if you want that for your kids, just carry on. But no one says anything. And if you do, you're anti-Semitic. But I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm just I want a better education for children, no matter where they come from in the UK. Illegal and unregistered schools are a blight to our country. They're a blight to our country. People don't even learn English. People don't learn proper values or anything like that, and they learn barbaric values. Birmingham last year, a school funded by the public, in the basement they found a chop shop where they female mutilate girls in the basement. This is in Birmingham. Can you easily searched up? Why did that happen? Because the council's politically correct. They won't check these schools. They won't make sure the safeguarding's right on them. And this is across the board. It's not one community. Lots of communities. I pointed to the Jewish community in Hackney. I pointed to the Muslim community in Oldham. And I'm guessing other communities across the UK the same. And it's no good, guys. This is no good. You might be highly religious and all that, but if you think that is all right, then you're going down the wrong road. And it'll just end up civil war or violence on our streets. We've already seen it in Leicester, between extreme Indians and Muslims. And when I watched reports on telly, they had an Indian man on and a Muslim man on, and the Indian man said they were extreme Indians who'd been let over with immigration, kicking off with the Muslims. We don't need it. We do not need that on the streets of the UK. It's wrong. And if anyone thinks it is right, then you're just going down the wrong road, guys. But anyway, again, my name's John Lawrence. We're running in local elections of our National Housing Party United Kingdom. We've run several good elections and we're confident of gaining seats in the future. Thank you very much.